Welcome, friends. This is a special episode on Mana TV International called Save Soil Awareness on Earth Day by NRIVA and the Vasavi Society of New York, New Jersey. An international webinar by Vasavi Society and NRIVA and many local and national Indian organizations. What a wonderful initiative. The program is actually to find out how these organizations are working in tandem with Isha Foundation to spread awareness of safe soil, originally started by Sadhguru Jaggi Vasudev, the founder of Isha Foundation. Soil is magic, says Sadhguru, and if not treated well, soil can render us hungry, resulting in famines and an eventual yet deliberate human created disaster and food crisis. Save Soil is an extremely important initiative which is gathering great momentum and is now being supported by many world organizations in a lot of countries across the globe. The mission is to bring into fruition the policy for safe soil. So let's find out how this educational yet fun-filled event on April 22nd, 2022 by Vasavi Society, New York, New Jersey and NRIVA, many organizations is going to become an engine and going to be instrumental to save soil with the organizations where the organizers say they have live entertainment, keynote speakers, and varied talks on safe soil, and also some fun stuff, you know, pertaining to safe soil and some competition. So let's find out from the organizers. But before that, let me introduce today's guests and organizers and those who are going to talk about safe soil. We have with us today the organizers of the upcoming webinar. Mr. Subbarao Sannidhi, who is the President-elect for the Vasavi Society of New York, New Jersey. Mr. Nagamahender Velisala, Secretary-elect for the Vasavi Society of New York, New Jersey. Mr. Suresh Chatakundu, who is the present President of the Vasavi Society of New York, New Jersey, is strongly supporting Safe Soil, but he is not present today because of some work, but he is with us with the movement. So we'll meet him on April 22nd. We have as well Mr. Bhaskar Bhupati, who is a Senior Vice President of Vasavi Society of New York, New Jersey. We have Mr. Venkat Sriram, the Vice President-elect of the Vasavi Society of New York, New Jersey. And we have some guest speakers who are going to talk about safe soil and support this movement. Firstly, we have Saurabh Agarwal, Isha volunteer for 10 years and has been talking about safe soil and has been giving lectures across the globe. We as well have Sri Upendra Chivukula, the Commissioner of Board of New Jersey Public Utilities. So welcome everybody.
Thank you, sir. Together. Pleasure to be on Mana TV and with you.
Thank you so much. Sri Upendra Chivukula, sir, tell us, what is your motivation for safe soil movement, because you are a philanthropic person, you are a humanitarian, you have supported a lot of philanthropic activities. Safe soil movement, is gaining greater momentum, and I'm so glad that you're in this, show today. That shows your wonderful support, for safe soil. Tell us what is, your take. How are you going to support safe soil?
As a Public Utilities Commissioner and also former state legislator, I just want to show my gratitude to Sadhguru for taking such an important initiative and movement. I think this is very important. Also, I want to thank Vasavi of Organization of New York and New Jersey for embracing this movement. It is critical that we respect our soil because the population of the world is growing at an alarming rate, and we need to grow food. And without soil, without organic matter, so which is degrading at a very rapid rate, and currently at 0.5%. And if this continues, it probably in 50 years we'll have most of the world will be desert. And what happened during Ottoman Empire? They had cut all the trees and created the railroad. And so Israel, that those areas are all become arid and desert conditions. And also, if you look at Nellore in India, where they have taken the very fertile land and created shrimp farms, and the soil is destroyed. So I think Sadhguru's message, and my message to everybody is that we should respect our soil the organic matter. And when you're looking at fertilizers, and we should look for organic fertilizers, because the microorganisms, they don't grow with chemicals. And so we have to respect that. And soil is very important. And as a public official, and I have attended many Earth Day events, and this year's theme is investing in our planet. I think soil, I think that is plays a very top role.
Wonderful, Upendra Garu. I mean, that shows, how deep knowledge you have, and I mean, that's why you're loved to the core by all here. Uh, I mean, I'm so glad you're supporting Safe Soil. And Subbarao Garu, what do you think, in your words, importance of organic matter in the soil?
Thanks, Sarath Garu, for giving us this opportunity, and thanks, Mana TV. As I was elected as a Vasavi Society president, the first thing I have taken up is this program. Reason because being a grandfather, I want to leave a healthy soil and healthy planet for my grandchildren. And like Upendra Garu emphasized, the quality of the soil is the one that's responsible for quality food that is, we all eat, and that is going down. And also the desertification is happening, like Upendra Garu was telling. And in the history, there are a lot of examples on this. So the first thing I have taken after consulting my executive team is, let us take this program and involve all the Indian organizations and make it also a fun event, so that people will be involved, people will get the message properly. So we have organized some good singers from Isha, and also Telugu singer, and local great singers, so that, and singing Isha songs basing on soil, so that we'll have an Earth Day, the program on April 22nd, webinar involving hundreds of people, so that they'll spread the awareness to their families and friends. And also we have come up with our team has come up with an idea of have the children draw pictures of Save the Soil thing, and have a contest and give them 9 prizes, 3 first prizes, 3 second, 3 third prizes, so that they will get the awareness, and the parents also will start giving them more knowledge about it. So that is the reason that we got involved with this project.
Thank you, Subbarao Garu. Giving brief about the program and involving singers and competitions. It sounds so much fun. So I'm going to jump to my next question, and I'm going to ask Saurabh, how are you doing, and tell us, how are you supporting Safe Soil movement, and what are your lectures about before we actually go into the main program?
My name is Saurabh. I'm a volunteer with Isha, New Jersey. I am an ordinary citizen who works a software engineering day job. And why am I doing this? I'm doing this because I see how the situation is so dire. And if we look at what the Safe Soil movement is about, and why this came about, why Sadhguru is riding across so many nations, is because the UN scientists have been talking about this for 2 decades. The scientific community has known about this. We all think that climate change is happening because of industrialization, because of burning of fossil fuels. And nobody's talking about soil yet. Soil contributes 35 to 40% of the climate change issues, and receives only 4 to 5% of the climate change budget. So really, climate change is the most imminent and the most immense challenge that we have facing us. And it's not an Isha Foundation movement. It's not a Sadhguru movement. It's a movement that matters to all of us. Anyone who eats food, it matters to all of us. And so even though the situation is very dire, I am really heartened to see the participation here. I'd really like to thank the Vasavi Society, Mana TV, and Upendra Garu. We see all walks of society, all different people stepping up to make this a part of their own initiative. And that's how we can change this. If we make it happen, we can turn this around in the next 10 to 20 years. If we don't act now, it'll take 150 years to turn this around, which will affect so many of our future generations that I can't even think about.
Thank you, Saurabh. Introducing yourself. Coming on this show and talking on how Safe Soil is going to save us. From an eventual getting. I shouldn't say getting extinct, but facing difficulties with food and as a responsible denizens of the world, you're absolutely correct that we got to take action, and this movement is definitely going to go big and save the planet from a major crisis. Thank you so much, and I'm going to ask Mr. Nagamahendra Garu to talk a little more about I heard that you're heading the competitions for kids, and what are these competitions, and I'm glad that they are going to do something coordinating all these things. What's going to happen on 22nd April.
As a part of this, the awareness to the Save Soil program. So we are conducting the drawing competition for the kids of elementary school, middle school, and high school, 3 categories. And in each categories, we are giving away the first, second, and third prizes. These are all for the kids, because the kids are the future of our generation. You have heard a lot about what is the condition of the soil and what is going to happen from all the speakers. So, but our future is the kids. So for them to be involved in this program, awareness, and for the future generation, what is that we are come up with the drawing competition. And I think we have the even the donors are also there for this program, so that we are going to conduct through. We have created a Google link form for the kids to go sending through via the WhatsApp messages and also to the flyers. And we also receiving the good response, and the people are calling and then asking some more clarifications and the questions. So we are doing that one, and we are expecting that it is going to be a very good competition, and then bring the awareness for the kids. The main reason is to bring for the future, who are the kids for the future.
A beautiful initiative, to involve kids in Safe Soil. So I'm going to ask Mr. Venkat Sriram Garu, tell about how a lot of other organizations, Indian organizations, Telugu organizations are going to work in tandem. How are they supporting Safe Soil and the webinar on April 22nd?
My name is Venkat Sriram. I work in Wall Street. First of all, I would like to say thank you, Mana TV, to bringing this noble event, extending Sadhguru's program all over the world. We are working with number of service organizations. To name some, Rotary is well known, Lions Club is another one. And we also working with many regional, national, cultural, and also religious organizations. There are about 12 to 15 organizations we are working. When our president-elect, Subbarao Garu, started this initiative of the Sadhguru's one, he jumped in right away. We have to do this. And within no moment, many organizations, they come forward. Yes, we will be part of this, because to make this soil organic again, to living a soil again, to make a livable soil again, we need each and every person's effort into this. So we took that opportunity, contacted each and every one of them, known organizations. They're ready to support with us and participate this on 22nd. So it will be nationwide and also international wide event going to be with us. We want all your support and wishes to have this event successful. Please join us.
Thank you, Mr. Venkat Sriram Garu. Subbarao Garu Please tell me what prompted you to actually, do this webinar. What ideas came into your mind, and what were those sequences which were running in your mind, which kind of enabled you to, start, this kind of interest in you, and then mobilizing the crowds, and starting something like this, a wonderful webinar, an international program for all of us.
I started getting concerned about what we are leaving for our children. Just leaving money and leaving wealth is not enough. We need to leave them a healthy atmosphere to grow, a healthy soil where they get healthy food. And I took up this task only for this reason. I want to devote my 2 years of term for social causes, which will give for the welfare of this planet, welfare of the grandchildren, children. And if we don't do this now, like Saurav and our Sri Upendra Garu is telling, we are looking for disaster. The world population, according to estimate, in another 30, 40 years is going to go to 10 billion population. And if we don't take care of the soil, according to all the estimates, in another 50 years, 50% of the world is going to be desert. So your population is almost like doubling, and then your output and good healthy food and less healthy food and less amount of food. Not the world you want to live for your grandchildren. With all the money and everything, they can't buy decent food. Then what good is all for? So as a grown up and responsible grandfather, I thought, let me take up these social causes. And then when I saw Sadhguru trip 30,000 kilometers from London to India, through 27 countries, I said, this is the ideal time we join hands and start the awareness about this program across US among all the organizations and among children. So that is the reason we came up with the idea of the drawing contest and everything. So I am happy that our organization, our executive board, everybody came together and called up all the organizations to get involved. And then Isha organization is helping us a lot. And then Upendra Garu, I have utmost respect on him. Every time I call about some service activity, he comes up with 300%, 500% of what we expect. So I'm so happy. And Sharath Garu, the way you responded for this whole initiative, I'm thankful to you.
Thank you, Subbarao Garu. I mean, it shows how much passionate you are, about the ecology, about soil, and especially humanity. That's something stirred you from the inside, and you wanted to do something in that speaks volumes about your virtue. I congratulate you for that, and I'll take your compliments as well. I'm coming to Upendra Garu. Again, I wanted to ask you this question. I don't want to put you on spot, but on the flyer it says that the soil is dying and 2 billion people are suffering from nutritional deficiencies. And I know you have done your research. Please give your take on that.
Thank you for that wonderful question. I think we have a responsibility not only to human beings but also animals. If you look at Saurabhji mentioned about the climate change. Climate change is going to have a devastating impact on all of us. And recently, the manatees in Florida, of the Florida coast, they don't have seagrass for that which they feed on, and which is causing maybe I hope they don't get going extinct. So people are throwing salad, like lettuce and all that into the ocean. So I think soil is such an important thing for growing food. The chemicals are affecting not only the land, it also affecting the marine animals and having a devastating effect on that. So this is a great initiative that Vasavi has taken on under the leadership of Subbarao Garu, in that we have to educate each and every person out there. And the earth is not is leased to us, not we don't own it. So we have to, when you lease some property, you have to return it better than how you received it. I think that's very important. That's the message about our grandchildren and the next generation, the following generation, we have to show the responsibility. And there are many things we can do. For example, landfills. Now we have running out of space of landfills. And if you have a better recycling program, New Jersey recently come up with a program to ban plastics and paper bags, so that way we don't dump the plastic bags into the ocean. And so there are a lot of initiatives, I think, that are there. And save the soil is so critical, that our basic food and the microorganisms that depend on they die with the chemicals. So we need to be very careful in our use of pesticides and other chemicals, so that we don't destroy the soil. I think that's what is important. And a lot of times, people install all kinds of things, the solar panels and all that, but that's also affecting our soil. And so we need to educate ourselves, educate our masses, so that way these type of initiatives, organizations coming together and trying to let people know, and so that way the word spreads to other people, so that way we start taking responsible action.
Great words, Sri Upendra Garu. The other day I went to CUNY Bronx Community College, and they were talking about sustainability. So when you were talking about landfills and how to protect the planet, how you have to. It's not just for humanity, but it is also for animals. It strikes a chord in my heart here, and shows how much of a responsible human being you are as well. Going back to Saurabh, and this time, I want you to whet the appetite of our audience. Teenagers, youngsters, they love motorbikes and things. Sadhguru is doing an expedition on motorbikes, and but please whet our audience's appetite and talk about, how this is going to happen. What is the motorcycles thing about?
That's a great question. How does the guru who excites people do it? Well, he does it on his motorcycle. And, it's a personal expression. I think all of us can actually join the Save Soil movement in our own way. But I think the importance of why Sadhguru is doing it and why is he doing it this way is to talk about, as I said before, the imminence of this problem. It's imminent now, and the immensity of this problem. As Upendra Garu was talking about, so many different initiatives that are happening, and yes, all of them are required. What the Save Soil movement is trying to do is, one, it's trying to create awareness in 3.5 billion people, 60% of the world's electorate, so that we can institute policies across the world, across all nations on this planet, to improve the quality of our soil, which is, we are saying, a minimum of 3 to 6% organic content. Now, these 100 days that Sadhguru is riding, he started in London in March 21, is going through the ice of Europe, into the desert storms of Arabia, into the monsoons in India, on a motorbike, lone motorcyclist, at the age of 65 years. And if this does not excite us, a person that old can do this, well, one, as young people, we have to stand up in our own way. But if this does not awaken us, well, I don't know what will. And so that's why Sadhguru is doing it. And what can we do as during this 100 days is to spread this awareness. Only when all of us and 3.5 billion people, at least 3.5 billion on the planet, talk about soil, do the rest of us actually realize why this is important. Last thing, if you look at the events that are happening as Sadhguru goes through to these different cities, you will see people dancing. It's a very joyous, this thing. It's not a doomsday, purely fact-based sort of conversation. You'll see people dancing, people coming together, kids drawing. This painting competition that Naga Garu was talking about is an example of this. So it's a very joyful way of bringing all of us together to address this problem. And not only that we'll address the problem, we'll also become closer as human beings, as friends, as people.
Amazing, amazing, Saurabh. Very sure they're enjoying it, and we have whetted the appetite of the audience to come on April 22nd, 2022. Again, to whet the appetite of our audience, I'm going to Venkat Sriram Garu. So, Venkat Garu, how are you involved that day? What are the activities you're taking up, and anything which is coming to your mind which is fun?
Few things, if you see, if you remember in 2018, about 4 years back, Greta Thunberg from Sweden, this girl, and along with her, a lot of other students took a strike, not going to school. She's a high school student, not going to school in Sweden. So she bought a lot of things, like for example, coal industry is booming in Australia because of that. Great Barrier Reef is dying. Thousands of students did not go to school on that Friday, November, angry about conservative politicians. Prime Minister Scott Morrison, they were not taking anything. They're not taking things serious. So she came and she represented in UN. To make this event fun, our children are educating us how much important the soil to be, living. So we have devised various programs. One of such is conducting art programs for ages, different age groups, 3 different age groups, where we are encouraging our children to participate. Our Subbarao Garu is bringing a lot of singers from Isha Foundation, who they are going to sing about Sadhguru's songs. And also there are other singers are coming. So it will be entertaining, it will be connecting the youth, it will be to us as parents, and some of them as grandkids, to educate even us what are the things we need to take. So it's a full packed, fun, and entertaining, and as well to relay the importance of why we need to do it. So it's a mixed bag of multiple things. So where we are accommodating, so that bringing awareness by various means to all the audience.
Thank you, Venkat Garu. I'm very sure, our audience are already soaking in, all the info and the fun stuff, and the awareness program, and especially what a day we're doing it on Earth Day. Wonderful day to, do this show on safe soil. Nagamahinder Garu, tell us, some more of activities with children, because I know that on that day you're involved with children, you're coordinating so many other things. Other than the competition, is there anything, you are contributing to this webinar?
The first thing is that we need to give the awareness to all the people across the globe. So one thing is that to bring the awareness to the people, we have been doing this conducting a Zoom call, where we are educating the people by giving the material about the soil and fun, as Sriram told, Venkat told. So we are filling with the fun, entertainment, and education, and also the drawings. So this is the awareness. Bringing the awareness is the one form of that we are doing. The another things of how that we can do the bringing the awareness is by sending the WhatsApp messages, by making a group, and then by becoming a all this the Earth buddies by joining, and then taking this to the next level of this awareness. And we saw that Isha Foundation is been doing a stall outside of each and every program. So just to bring the awareness to all the people. So this is how we have been doing. And also the drawings that we have been conducting, all the drawings we are going to send as a together to the President of the America. So this is how we will bring the awareness to the politicians and to bring the policies to keep in place. So, and also by organizing, I request all the other organizations and all the schools and the politicians, everybody, whoever is or look for the future of our children's. So bring the awareness by conducting the webinars, by Zoom sessions, by forming a groups of the WhatsApp messages, and help the Sadhgurus, the campaign of the Save the Soil.
Wonderful, Naga Garu. Well said on the flyer. It says, "Save the soil for the sake of your children," and you've taken up, the main crux. Rather to put it, creating a competition. Actually giving a variety to a child's mind and actually educating them as well is a beautiful thing. I'm very sure it's going to penetrate everyone on that day, April 22nd. By 2025, we will have 45% less food for 9.2 billion people. So I'm going to ask a few other questions, just about how to join, because because of the constraint of time, how to join this meeting and things, to Subbarao Garu, and going to ask Saurabh, what are you bringing on the plate on April 22nd?
So why should you join the event on April 22nd, which is the Earth Day? I'm not here because I work for Isha Foundation. I'm a volunteer. I'm not a politician. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a yogi. I'm just a regular person like you. But the first time I heard about Save Soil, I thought, this is just another climate change event. We read about it all the time. But I attended a webinar. And in the webinar, when they shared the details about what is happening, already what is happening, as Subbarao Garu said, half of the world is already a desert, 52%. It moved me from somebody who thought, well, just another initiative that maybe some social worker or some concerned people will look at. To me, who's an ordinary citizen, it matters. And so that is why on April 22nd, we will provide the opportunity for you to experience the same, which is why should you as an ordinary citizen be concerned about this, should participate in this. We will look at the problem in itself. Everything from food insecurity, we've looked at how by 2045, 1.7 billion people, the UN is predicting, may not have food. And this is not just in poor countries. This will happen in the US. During the pandemic, just toilet paper shortage was a big issue. Imagine if we did not have food. So we'll talk about food insecurity. We'll talk about nutritional deficiencies. We'll talk about water insecurity, where we see the cycle of droughts and floods. Half of the US is facing droughts, as we all know it. We will look at why farmers are committing suicide. You've heard that in India quite a bit. We will look at how this can improve the biodiversity in soil. So all these aspects we will look at in detail so that you can actually relate to it. And along with all the events that we've looked at where children can participate, we'll provide all those opportunities as well so that you can participate in this movement as well, because we need all of us to make this happen.
That makes sense. That makes big sense to me, Saurabh, because, just talking about a subject superficially is a different story altogether, and actually understanding what it is the real crux. So, really, I congratulate you once again, Subbarao Garu. Tell us, how can people join this webinar? What is that link? Tell our audience, how our audience and anyone who's going to watch, how can you participate and watch this webinar?
We are providing a free Zoom link for everybody. Anybody can join from anywhere in the world. And the entire program is free. And what we are trying to bring here is awareness and what needs to be done And we're going to provide the tools further what to do to prevent this. The tools that required to write letters, emails, and phone calls to leaders and politicians so that they can bring about the policies to save the soil. So the whole idea is the total project of why we need this saving the soil. They bring that awareness and making it a fun-filled event and a free event available to everybody, and then give the tools to resolve this issue for all of us, for our grandchildren's sake. So please join on Earth Day, especially because on April 22nd is Earth Day. That is the least thing we can do for us and for our grandchildren to save the Earth, Mother Earth, and save our soil. So please get to know this. This is very important. If you think your wealth and money management and your property management, everything is important, this is as important as that. You're going to give this as an asset to your children, grandchildren, and for future generations to come, because there is only one Mother Earth. As far as in the entire universe, there is no another Earth. The way it is, we are endowed with the rich soil, the topsoil, which can grow organic food, which can grow nourishing food for us and for our children. There is nothing else, as far as we know and as far as the scientists know. So let us save it for us and our children and our grandchildren.
Thank you, Subbarao Garu, for the plea to come and your invitation. I'm very sure our audience have taken the information. Upendra Garu, we are actually at coming to the end of this session. So I want all of you to give your collective message. Upendra Garu, give our Mana TV International and Mana TV audience your message about this webinar and Save Soil.
I grew up saying that the mother, the earth, is Bhudevi, is our mother. And how can we not respect our mother? And so we have to pay respect to the earth, and the bhumi of the earth. And soil is part of the earth. And so we need to make sure that, we don't want to hear, there's a Hindi movie called Dharti Kahe Pukar Ke. So we don't want to hear from earth, say you are abusing me. So we want to make sure that we respect before we get that message.
A wonderful message again. We all love your spontaneity, Sri Upendra Garu. Venkat Garu, I want you to give a message, and invite our audience.
Join this great moment. We need everyone's help to save the soil. This is your moment to save for the future.
So I request everybody to join this program, which is the awareness on to save the soil. This is the way that we give the tribute to our Sadhguru, the great Sadhguru, who has started this movement. This is one of the movement that people do the awareness by conducting the seminars, by conducting the classes and everything. But Sadhguru at the age of the 65 is taking the risk, and then with rain or shine, he has been traveling all across the world. For 37,000 miles he is traveling, and then he is for the 100 days. So this is the help that we can do by just joining the seminar. So I kindly request everybody to join and then take the education from this, how to save the soil from the great the people who are joining and then going to give us this one. I kindly request. And also thanks to the Mana TV. This is the media, is the awareness. The media can reach to any people. And this is Mana TV came forward to give to help us in this awareness program. And we really appreciate you, Mana TV, for coming forward and to help this awareness program. Thank you very much.
If you want to go and buy gold for your family, for your children, you're not going to buy 10% value gold, 90% adulterated gold. Think this soil is more valuable than your gold and diamonds, anything. So you don't want to give 10% value earth, soil to your children and grandchildren. It is that important, as simple as that. So give a value-based soil to your children and grandchildren. And you owe to yourself, you owe to our Mother Earth, you owe to your children and grandchildren to understand this, what is happening, why this Save the Soil movement is important, and why Sadhguru is risking his life traveling 20,000 kilometers, across 27 countries in, like Naga Mahendra said, through rain and shine and cold and heat, for saving this planet, saving this earth, saving the soil. So if you cannot join a webinar to understand this and do basic things for your children and grandchildren, I mean, I know you're going to do it. I know you're going to do it. I'm not saying it in any other way. So please join. Please join and have the fun-filled evening and understand it and do the basic things what we need, because this is a collective effort. No one person can do this thing. Billions of people joining hands together collectively, we can make this happen. And I know this is going to happen, because I'm not going to leave this. I'm going to keep continuing my effort, communicate to my organization, to other organizations about the message which I'm doing every day, sending them the information. So I'm going to keep continuing this. So please join hands. Let us do this together and give a value-based, rich soil to our children and grandchildren. Thank you very much. I thank Sharath Garu and Mana TV for giving us this opportunity to give this valuable message.
Thank you, Subbarao Garu. Again, a wonderful message. So, friends, that was the plea from the organizers of the Vasavi Society of New York, New Jersey, NRIVA, and as well Isha volunteer Saurabh and our Sri Upendra Garu, who's going to talk extensively about Save Soil. All of them are going to contribute from their side. They're going to talk about this movement about Save Soil, and going to have a lot of songs from Isha Foundation. Some celebrities are coming, and wonderful things are going to happen, as you heard everyone about this movement, and I'm very sure you enjoyed this show. So show up on April 22nd, 2022 at 8:30 p.m. EST. You can watch us live the same event on Mana TV International and Mana TV as well. If you want to join on Zoom, the link is flashing on the screen. Until then, have a wonderful time. This is your host, Sharath.